there was news late last night. Stanford head women's basketball coach Tara VanDerveer has decided to retire. And first of all, she's 70 years old, so she deserves this retirement. And she's currently the number one all time in wins in men's or women's basketball. I mean, though, of course, that's going to get surpassed by Gino because he's literally right behind her. That was bound to happen anyway. And I'm going to go over her background. First of all, she played at Albany from 1971 to 1972, then transferred to Indiana from 1972 to 1975 as a guard. She played as a guard, and after completing college, apparently, she took a year off with the plan to return to law school, and when she ran out of money, she returned home, and when her parents realized she was doing little beyond on playing chess and sleeping, they urged her to help her sister Marie's basketball team. And her sister was 5 years younger than her. And by the time Marie reached high school, the school had basketball teams for girls. Though frustrated by the lack of commitment from the girls on her team, she discovered a passion for coaching. So she applied VanDerveer applied to 20 colleges and universities for unpaid graduate assistant position, and she only received 2 responses. One of them was Ohio State, where the athletic director had remembered her from Indiana, and she was hired as an assistant coach of the varsity team and the head coach of the JV squad. In her first year, she coached the JV. She led them to 8-0 season. And of course, that caught the attention of Old Dominion's head coach at the time, Mary Ann Stanley, who offered her an assistant coaching position. But VanDerveer wanted to finish her master's degree first, so she accepted a paid position at Ohio State at a salary less than a quarter of Old Dominion's offer. And after 2 years at Ohio State, she earned her master's degree in sports administration, and she was hired as the head coach at Division II University of Idaho in Moscow. And they only had like one winning season in the first 4 years prior to her. And like 17-8 in the first year, 25-6 the next year, and 10-2 in the Northwest Empire League. And it's at the time it was like AIAW for tournament. You know, they didn't really have the NCAA tournament back then, and it only was the first round. Then she went on to Ohio State as head coach, and she won 110 games and lost 37, 55-5 in the Big Ten, which her first year didn't make the NCAA tournament, nor her third year, but her second year, first round, fourth year, first round, but then her last year was in Elite Eight. And then she was hired at Stanford, and Stanford was part of the Pacific West Conference in her first year, by the way. And she did that. Her first season was a losing season, but everything else was at least 500, if not way better, as you could tell by when you look it up. But overall, at Stanford, 1,064 wins and 220 losses and 55-97 in the conferences, by the way. So yeah, and of course overall 1,216 wins and 271 losses, number one all time currently. Though it's gonna get passed by Gino because Gino's that close, but it was bound to happen anyway. And that's the thing. I mean, and she really transformed that Stanford program. I mean, she's won $15 Pac-12 championships, 27 regular season championships, 13 Final Fours. Yes, she's only won 3 NCAA titles, 1990, 1992, and 2021. She won the Big Ten and 4 regular season championships, but you get the point. That's pretty impressive. And she was a 2-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, 5-time Northern California Women's Intercollegiate Coach of the Year, John Wooden Legends Coaching Award in 2014, 5-time WBCA District Region Coach of the Year from 1988 to 1990, then 2007, 2009. So you get the point. And she actually learned, like at the time, like when she was a player, the head coach, like B. Gorton, patterned her style of play and practice after Bob Knight. So, and VanDerveer enrolled in Bob Knight's basketball coaching classes in Indiana and regularly observed his practices. And she carried what she learned from Bob Knight to her practices at Stanford. So that's a little bit of an effect from the late Bob Knight, as we all know. So, yeah. Of course, that's a lot of accomplishments, and I know she wished she would have had more championships, but it's so hard to get NCAA championships. And with this ever-changing landscape of college athletics, with realignment, and there's going to be a lot more travel, because Stanford's going to be in the ACC next year. So it's going to be a lot of travel. She probably thought it was probably best to step away. I mean, look at it's not like the Pac-12 that it used to be. And I think she probably thought the best for Stanford. Honestly, because how much longer she would have done this, especially with the travel aspect. It's not including NIL, transfer portal as well. But they do have a plan to find a successor, and the negotiations underway with Kate Paye, who actually played for Tara VanDerveer from 1991 to 1995, and has been a staff member at Stanford for the past 17 years. And she would be the fifth head coach beginning next season. But Tara VanDerveer will continue to work with Stanford Athletics, by the way. Stanford in the athletics department in an advisory capacity role. And her last day officially will be on May 8th on the 39th anniversary of her original hire. So, but I'm going to go over Kate Paye's background. She is 50 years old. She played at Stanford, like I said. She's a 5'8" guard, and she played in the ABL with the Seattle Reign from 1996 to 1998, but then Minnesota Lynx from 2000 to 2001 and 2002 Seattle Storm. And she actually was an assistant coach at San Diego State from 1995 to 1996, then Pepperdine from 2004 to 2005. They had to have some time in between on playing, at that time. And she returned to San Diego State from 2005 to 2007 as assistant coach, and she was an assistant at Stanford from 2007 to 2016. But 2016 up to now, she's been an associate head coach. We're going to have to wait and see what she does. And maybe she'll retain most of that staff. Obviously, they're going to have to add somebody as an assistant at the very minimum, or hire another associate head coach just to replace her position. But we're going to have to wait and see. And I know players could technically enter the transfer portal when the head coach leaves, but we'll see if any players want to leave. That's the thing, because there might be some more retention. That's the thing. But at the same time, it wouldn't shock me if some players do leave. I mean, that's the thing. And Stanford needs to be patient with Kate Paye because she's a first time head coach, but she's earned it. I mean, she's been associate coach for since 2016, like I said. So, yeah, we're going to wait and see what they do next year and beyond. And all this, and we know the ACC is a little bit shaky right now because they could lose Florida State and Clemson down the line, and there's lawsuits there, and it might lose other teams down the line. But that's just a different story right there. But as for the basketball side of things, let's see what they do in the ACC next year and what their roster looks like for next year. I'm not just talking about players coming into the program. I'm talking about potential players leaving. Because Tara VanDerveer is no longer there, and some players want to just play for her. But we're going to just wait and see. It's just in general, when head coaches leave, players could technically leave too. And I think it was a smart move for Stanford, honestly, to go with somebody that the players are familiar with right away. That way they don't have to drag out and get a long coaching search. Because if this was not going to be hired by if she was not promoted to become a head coach, this would have been a huge job opening. But now nobody has to worry about that. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. Just had a tickle on my throat. I see you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, the ultimate goal is 1,000 or more. So my money out this course, like a video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch. And if you're watching and hit subscribe button to read the notification bell as well.